Hi guys, this is going to be the first part of a series of tutorials where I'm going to explain how I wrote a basic shoot 'em up with C++. Now before we start, you're going to need to know how to use classes, so if you don't, go down in the description and look at the links that I've posted. Now, the first thing you need to do is find a bitmap for your hero, find a bitmap for your enemy, and find a bitmap for the explosions. Now, we're going to be using timers, so you need to include these. Now, as you can see, I have a few constant integers. The first one is for the width of the hero, the second one is for the height of the hero, and the third one is for the x velocity of the hero. Then I have another one that's hold the total amount of bullets the hero has, and then shot and ready are just gonna be used for me to know if the bullet has already been fired or if it is going to be fired. It is ready to be fired. Then I have a class called hero. I have some public functions, get x, get y, and then draw hero. Then in private I have two integers called x and y, and then I have a function called move hero. Then I have an object called hero. Notice that the object hero has lowercase h, whereas the hero in the class name has capital H. Now the object hero doesn't have to be named hero, you can name it whatever you want. Now because x and y are static, I need to initialize them, so that's where I'm doing this. And then here I'm defining the function get x, which is just gonna return x, and get y is just gonna return y. Here I have the function move hero. Now I'm going to be setting up a border between 100 and 450, and within that border that's where the game's going to happen. So what I'm saying in the first if statement is that if someone is pressing the key left and the position of the ship is within the border, subtract the velocity from x. What I'm saying in the second if statement is if someone is pressing the key right and the ship is within the border, keep adding the velocity to x. Now, the two if statements here at the bottom are the ones that are dealing with the ship when it goes outside of the border. Essentially, if it goes outside of the border, bring it back in. Here I have the function draw hero, and I'm calling move hero because I need to keep updating before I draw. And then here, this is where I'm going to be drawing everything. I'm going to be drawing the ship. And this is the main. Keep in mind that right here, this is the name I give my bitmap. So for you, it might be different. So keep that in mind. You're going to need those. Those are timer stuff. Those are also timer stuff. Still timer stuff. And this is where I'm drawing a rectangle to show the border of the game. And then here I'm using the object hero to call the function draw hero. And then I draw the buffer to the screen and then clear the buffer. These are timer stuff. You're gonna need them. Here I am destroying all the bitmaps that I've created, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to shoot bullets. Keep in mind that this is not the best way, but this method works well enough. So class bullet is the class that's going to take care of all the bullet stuff. Now as you can see, some of the members and functions in class bullet have the same names as members and functions in class hero. That doesn't mean they're the same. The functions and members of class bullet are not the same as the members of function in class hero, even if they have the same name. So keep that in mind. So in class bullet, I have in public I have a function called getX, a function called getY, and a function called drawBullet. In private, I have two integers, x and y, and an array called bullet state, which is going to tell me if the bullet is ready to be fired or not, or if it has been fired. Then I have a static integer called shot fired, and then I have a function called move bullet. I also have two objects. One is an array. The array is going to hold the position of each bullet, and then I have an object called bullet. Now, because shot fired is a static integer, I have to initialize it, so this is what I'm doing here. And below, I'm defining the function getX, which is just going to return x, and getY, which is going to return y. Here is where I am defining move bullet. Now I want a shot to be fired when I press space. Now I want the bullet to keep moving even when I'm not pressing space. So this is where shot fired comes in. Below you will see how I am going to be using that. So essentially what I'm doing within this first if statement is that if someone presses the key space, increment shot fired, and then if shot fired exceeds the total amount of bullets, make it equal to 1. Now there's a good reason why I don't say make it equal to 0, and you will see that below. And then in the for loop, what I'm doing is once shot fired has exceeded the total amount of bullets, make all the bullets ready to be fired again. Note that in this last if statement, I'm saying if the height of the bullet is less than 10, allow it to be ready to be fired again. Essentially what I'm saying is even if shot fired exceeds the amount of total bullets, if the height of the bullet is not less than 10, that bullet is not ready to be fired again. Below in the if statement here, I'm saying if shot fired is not equal to 0, do everything within that if statement. Now within this if statement, that's where the bullets are going to be moving. That's why above I had shot fired equals to 1 and not equal to 0, because if it equals to 0, nothing is going to happen in this if statement. So I'm making this for loop run as long as I is less than shot fired. That's because the way things are set up, everything is ready to be fired at the beginning of the program. So the program would just run through and fire all these shots even if I'm not pressing this key space. So this is why I'm having it that way, so that it only runs as long as I is less than shot fired. In the if statement below, what I'm saying is if the bullet is ready to be fired, give it the Y position of the ship and then bring it to the middle X position of the ship. I'm doing that by adding half of the width of the ship to the X position of the ship. And then below, I'm making the bullets move up, and then after I make them move, I said they're not ready to be fired, that they've already been shot. And then here in this last for loop, If I didn't have that, we get some bugs, like some bullets will get stuck. So that's why we have it. What you can do is to understand how it works, what you can do is comment it and see what the effects are. And below I have the function draw bullet. I call move bullet within it, and then in the for loop I draw all the bullets. And that's essentially the whole program. Use the object bullet to call the function draw bullet, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Now you can move your ship and you can shoot bullets. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section or message me. And if you like this video, like it, subscribe for more, and that's pretty much it. See you guys next time.